Brian Sheehan calls himself an introvert, which I beg to differ. I've met a few people in the propane industry who possess Brian's positive energy and outgoing demeanor. Okay, but there's maybe Tucker Perkins, who is right up there as well. I think you all understand what I'm saying. Brian's persona draws others to him, and what's important about Brian is that he's equally drawn to others, to his employees at Rural Computer Consultants, their customers, their communities at large. And as a result of these relationships and partnerships, propane marketers in the industry benefited from the technological innovations that were born in Bird Island, Minnesota. Let's take a look at Brian.
Brian Sheehan has been on a mission. The co-founder of software company Rural Computer Consultants, also known as RCC, has made service to others his life's work. From Brian's family-like treatment of employees and customers in and around RCC's home office in Bird Island, Minnesota, to his world travels as international president of Lions Club International, his service mindset knows no bounds. Brian launched RCC with his brother Kevin in 1979, on the cutting edge of the computer age for consumers and small organizations. Their dad, Fabian, had started a plumbing and heating business to which he later added propane and, with the help of his son Mike, natural gas services. Brian and Kevin quickly discovered they could make a huge difference for propane marketers like their dad. They started to computerize their dad's records, demonstrating how much faster they could produce statements compared to his early days. They envisioned a better solution for routing and scheduling fuel and propane deliveries. Brian and Kevin designed a program primarily to help small independent propane marketers who couldn't afford expensive systems, and they continued to refine their software for the industry while focusing on flexibility. They took their innovations to trade shows and discovered they weren't the only ones forging this line of work. They believed if they continued to work hard, innovate, and follow the service mentality of putting customers first, they would be on track for success. One customer shared that Brian's corporate values and approach to life mirrored that of the propane industry. Notes and letters from industry members shared with LP guests echo that sentiment. The customer shared, "Our industry is bigger, better, and more diversified because of what Brian Sheehan has instilled through his stewardship at Rural Computer Consultants. And through it all, Brian brings a smile, joy, and friendship that makes this industry worthwhile." Today, born out of tiny Bird Island but extending across the country, RCC has grown to 70 employees as it offers a full range of software solutions for fuel and propane delivery companies. Susie Sheehan Peterson, Brian and Kevin's sister, was also part of the leadership team and that growth. Though Brian retired last year, he has already inspired the next generation of leaders at both RCC and within the propane industry. The mark he left on the industry in developing technology solutions and building lasting relationships will live on. "It's been a phenomenal ride," he told LP Gas. "It's one that, tonight, takes him into the Hall of Fame."
Brian could not be with us tonight. He's in Peru on another trip for the Lions Club. But accepting the award on his behalf is his sister, Susie Kuznia.
Good evening, everyone. It's such a privilege to be here and accept this on Brian's behalf. Brian and I have worked together for 25 years, and obviously we're together much longer than that. Brian's been the driving force behind RCC. He had vision. He had ideas that most of us couldn't even imagine. Some of them were way off, I get that, but still, he really was the driving force at RCC, and we appreciate his leadership in every way, shape, and form. Brian and I are actually child number 7 and 8 in a family of 8 children. We grew up in a propane family. As was mentioned, our dad created his propane business in the early 50s. Our brother Mike, which many of you know, and even though sometimes Brian and I would claim that Mike was our dad, of course, Mike wasn't real thrilled with that. He really was our brother. He did start to take over the propane business. In the 70s, of course, computers were becoming a major part of our lives, and Mike wanted to move forward, wanted to take that propane business, move forward, so he did commission Brian and Kevin to develop a propane software for him. And when it was implemented and installed, many other people said to Mike, well, where did you get that? We want that too. And so the birth of RCC occurred in the 70s. I, on the other hand, had a retail store across the street from the boys in Bird Island, Minnesota, if you can believe it. And after 20 years in retail, I decided to join the boys, so I joined them in the 90s. Apparently, every 20 years or so, we had to do something in our family. Dad enjoyed the propane business so much. It was meant to be. He was so excited for his new business. When he started his business in the 50s, he had 6 children. 2 of us weren't born yet, Brian and I. When I came along, Dad was so excited about the propane industry that he thought he should really have some say into what my name was going to be. It was ingenious. He decided that I should be named Georgine Ann Sheehan because my initials would spell gas. Further promoting the propane industry, right? And of course, a year and a half later, you can guess it. Brian was supposed to be named Leonard Paul, LP. Luckily, my mom won out on both situations. As we prepared for our mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary, the kids were meeting, and at that point in time, we were living all across the country. Our siblings were in other states. We got together on the phone and decided, what are we going to do for mom and dad's 50th anniversary? So someone said, why don't we sit down and write out our memories? Each of us, we're far apart, we can't get together. At that time, we didn't have a lot of FaceTime. And so we decided we would just all sit down and write our memories. When we gathered for their 50th event, ahead of time, we were reading each of our memories, reading them out loud to the other siblings, and a pattern was developing. All of a sudden, we were realizing. Now, you have to keep in mind, with 8 of us, we seldom saw eye to eye on an item, especially being unanimous. That was very rare. But it's hard still for me to believe to this day. All 8 of us had one memory that was in common. At that time, our dad was still working a lot. He couldn't be home a lot. He was in the truck a lot, building his business. Every child said our favorite memory was riding in the bulk truck with our father. Every one of us. Now, at first, I thought about it and I thought, there might have been another reason we all said that. We lived in a rural area, gravel roads, bumpy gravel roads, and our dad, in his ultimate wisdom, decided there are luxuries that aren't necessary in life. So when he got his first bulk truck, he decided that a luxury was a radio and a passenger seat. There was no passenger seat. Now, I thought that's the way propane trucks were for years. I just thought they had a metal platform. So I decided, well, maybe that's why all of us put it down, because we were riding on bumpy roads and we're sitting on the metal platform where there's normally a nice seat. But we all agreed it was not that. It was the time with our dad. It was the time when he was busy, and we decided, this is what it's all about. It's family. And I'm so pleased that the other speakers tonight mentioned it also. Family is integral. Family was integral in our family, and it's why the propane industry fits so well with our family. Brian and I always agreed that this industry really enjoys multi-generational businesses. It nourishes it. It's wonderful. Brian and I always said one of our favorite things was coming to the expo and seeing multi-generational businesses on the floor. It was our favorite. And it was mentioned in the video, RCC is now also multi-generational. We're pleased to each have 2 children taking over RCC, and it allowed Brian and I to both retire 2 years ago. When we were young, our parents always said, Brian and I had our own language. Brian was born with a slight speech impediment. Now, if I would have had Dennis's rules, I would not have had to interpret for my brother because he had the R's and the A's. That was a problem too. But if Brian would, and when he was young, if he would talk, and sometimes I would look up and I would see my siblings or even my parents saying, I don't know what he said. He also talked fast, which he still does. And so they would look at me and I would interpret and just say, well, here's what he said. And they all went, oh, okay, that sounds good. Now tonight, I'm actually gonna let Brian speak for himself. He's got a video that he prepared for us. Now, as a precursor to that, I just want to mention if any of you belong to a local Lions Club, if you ever get the opportunity to hear my little brother speak, do it. He is high energy, he is octane. He has high octane. He gives speeches like I've never heard before. On the contrary, his speech tonight is not the high octane, high energy one you would hear if he was giving a speech to you. It comes from the heart.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I just want to say thank you for this incredible honor of being inducted into the LP Gas Hall of Fame. I truly don't take this lightly. In fact, when I think about it, I'm humbled because no one gets here alone. You know, I grew up in the LP gas industry, and like so many people in this industry and in this room, it wasn't just a job. It was a family business and a way of life. My dad, Fabian, was the one who started it all for our family. He believed in hard work, treating people right, and serving the community. Those values shaped everything we did growing up. We didn't just learn about propane tanks and deliveries. We learned about responsibility, relationships, and integrity. Dad showed us that if you take care of your customers and your community, good things will follow. You all know what I'm talking about. That lesson has stuck with me my entire life. I was so lucky and fortunate to grow up in a strong family environment where everyone pitched in. When you're in a family business, there really aren't any job descriptions. You do whatever needs to get done. And those early experiences taught me lessons about business, teamwork, and perseverance that still guide me today. Then in 1979, something interesting happened. My brother Kevin and I saw an opportunity that didn't exist yet. Computers were just beginning to appear in the business, and we realized that the fuel industry needed better software and systems to manage operations. So we started Rural Computer Consultants. And now, I'll tell you honestly, those early years were not glamorous. We started small, working out of the gas company building, and for a few years we joked that we lived on beer and peanuts, just trying to keep the business alive. But we believed in the opportunity. We believed in the industry, and we believed in the people we were serving. What made the difference for us was the propane industry itself. These were people who believed in relationships, loyalty, and innovation. And because of that, our company grew from a small startup into a respected software provider supporting thousands of fuel companies across the country and around the world. And along the way, we were blessed with some amazing customers and an unbelievable staff. Truly, when you have great people around you, everything becomes possible. That success gave me something I will always be grateful for, the opportunity to follow another dream of mine, which was service. Because of the support of our company and our team, my brother Kevin and my sister Susie and our children, I had the chance and opportunity to serve as International President of Lions Clubs International, and later as Chairman of Lions Clubs International Foundation, helping lead the largest service organization in the world. In fact, I'm sorry I was unable to be with you today as I am currently in Peru doing that lion thing. And when I think about it, those opportunities didn't start in the boardroom or in some international stage. They started much closer to home. They started right here in my community with a desire to serve. They started in a small town propane business, learning from my dad and my mom and from the incredible people in this industry about serving others, building relationships, and doing the right thing. Those values carried through everything I've done in business, in Lions, and in life. So when I received this recognition today, I see it as a reflection of a lot of people. My dad, Fabian, and our family who built the foundation, the propane industry that gave us opportunity, the amazing team at Rural Computer Consultants, and the customers who trusted us along the way. I have been incredibly blessed in my life, and I truly do not take any of it for granted. If there's one thing this industry has taught me, is that success isn't just about business. It's about people. It's about community. And it's about helping others to succeed. So to everyone in the LP gas industry, thank you for being a part of my journey. It has been an honor to grow up in this industry and to remain connected to it throughout my entire life. And I'll leave you with something I believe deeply. When we work together, when we support each other and serve others, together we can accomplish amazing things. Thank you again for this incredible honor. Make a great day. You know it's awesome when you make a great day for yourself, and that's who has to make it, but it's such a better day when you make a great day for others. Thanks again.